Hey everybody, so I'm not normally a baker, but since I'm actually baking today, I thought I would share a recipe I love with all of you. Yesterday, my wife made some homemade butter, honey fig butter, which is just delicious. So we thought we should make some sort of bread to go with that. And the perfect bread for spreads and dips and just, butter is soda bread. It is flaky on the outside, really dense and really solid on the inside. Tasty bread, but really it helps you put the butter forward. The butter is the star of a soda bread. You can make it with or without raisins. You'll see it both ways. There's no difference in how you make it other than just adding the raisins. We're not doing raisins today, but I will let you know when that step comes up. 1 3/4 cups of buttermilk, 1 large egg, 4 1/4 cups all-purpose flour, 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter. You want to make sure you cube them and you want to make sure it's cold. And then if you do want raisins, you're going to add 1 cup of raisins. Again, we don't have raisins today, but no difference in the recipe. You just add those in at a later step. Okay, so the first thing we want to do before anything else is make sure our oven gets hot. We need it at 400 degrees. And you're also going to want to have your cooking device handy. So you can use a baking sheet with parchment paper. You can use a 9 to 10 inch cake pan or pie pan. I use a 10 inch skillet, that's a cast iron skillet, seasoned. That's my choice for this, and it makes it really good, really tasty. So our first step, we're going to whisk the buttermilk and the egg. Just put it right here in the measuring cup. Crack the egg in and just whisk it up with a fork. Once it's all nice and yellow, kind of put it aside for now. It's okay if it sits out. Next, combine your dry ingredients, your flour, your sugar, your baking soda, and your salt. Combine them up in the big bowl, get them all nice and mixed together. Mix and mix, mix. And now get that butter out of the fridge. We're gonna cut in the butter. I use a bakery cutter, a pastry cutter. You can use your fingers, you can use your fork, a knife, whatever is comfortable for you. I found a pastry cutter is pretty easy. I think it's actually what it's for. So get that butter in there, cut it in until you have really kind of coarse, lumpy dough. At this point, if you are adding raisins, add your raisins in. They go in once you've cut in the butter, once the dough is ready, mix in those raisins. Next, let's get that buttermilk and egg back in here. Add it slowly, a little bit at a time. So add it and kind of mix up your dough. You can use your fork, use a spatula, you can use your hand. It's gonna get really sticky at this point. So have a towel or a rag handy if you feel like you're getting a little too doughy. But start adding in that buttermilk till it's all in there. Next, transfer your dough to a floured surface. So we had that extra little bit of flour. We're gonna put that down, flour our hands. It keeps it from getting sticky. Transfer and start kneading that dough into a ball. It doesn't need to be a perfect sphere. You want it to be a little bit shaggy, so it's okay if it's not entirely together, but make sure it looks like a nice ball. Now we gotta transfer the dough. So get your pan or your baking sheet or whatever, plop that ball right on top there. It's simple. With a sharp knife, score an X on top of your dough. It doesn't need to be a very deep cut, but it's gonna keep it from cracking. And now let's get it in the oven. We're gonna set our timer for 45 minutes and set our bread inside. So as this is cooking, you're gonna wanna watch the time. It's gonna take about 45 minutes, but it might be a little bit longer, it might be a little bit shorter depending on your oven. If you find that the crust is burning, check it every now and then. You can put a little piece of aluminum foil over the top, and that'll keep it from getting too crusty, too burnt. We want a nice golden brown on top. And now we just wait. So here we are. You see it filled up the pan really nicely. It really rises in a wonderful way. This doesn't look like the ball of lump dough that we had. This looks like a great piece of bread. If you come in closer, where we scored it, it is kind of open and you can tap like you would a bag of soil. You should get like a hollow sound all around and a little bit of crunch here. This inner exposed stuff should be just crispy, not spongy. That's how you know it's done. So crispy, not spongy. Very hot. Listen, we're gonna want to give this about 10 minutes to cool. Just cool on your stove and watch out for that cast iron. That's gonna be super warm after all this is over. Here is our soda bread, fresh out of the pan, onto my cutting board. I've got my bread knife here, I've got a plate. I've got some of the things I really like to eat it with. Here we go, clotted cream is a must. European, it can be a little bit hard to find in the States, especially now. I don't know if anybody's delivering it, but if you can get a hold of clotted cream, that's one of the ways to go. And then any sort of butter is gonna be your star here. So here we have, my wife Sarah made a honey fig butter last night, which I'm super excited to try on here. So let's give it a go. I've let this cool for about 10 minutes. You don't want it to be too hot when you eat your first bite. See what happens. I mean, you just hear that crunch as you kind of cut it there. Grab a little piece of the heel. So you see the crunchy exterior and the sort of really spongy, warm interior. Get a butter knife out. I'm just so excited about this honey fig, so that's what I'm going with here. That's good. Butter's a little, it's been in the fridge, but this is gonna melt it right into the crust there. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, it's melting right in, this is great. Perfect. The soda bread is good. The butter is great, of course. So really, Sarah retains the food kitchen crown here. Damn. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. So that's it. Soda bread. Super easy, pretty quick. Hey, stay inside, stay healthy. Bake as much as you can. Nobody's watching. Nobody cares what you eat right now.